Good morning, good morning, good morning for the next 5 minutes, and then it's good afternoon. It is 5 to noon, or at least it is here in the UK. At time of watching this, heaven knows what time it may be. Evening, different day, different week. It's why we give it a date stamp. And today's date stamp is September the 21st. There's a reason why I'm brandishing the calendar in your device face today. So it is September. Many of you have one of these very fetching, purposeful, meaningful, movement snacking active calendars. Ken, good morning, soon to be afternoon. Carolyn, good morning, soon to be afternoon. Carolyn, I don't know, I did send you that direct message and I'm sorry you didn't get it, but I just wanted you to know that I was saying thank you so much. Thank you. Getting back into routine. That's good to hear, Ken. Ken, had the routine shifted for you? I'm not prying or anything, but it's great to hear for whatever reason, and that's perfectly usual, that routine shift and change. It's great you're back on it, Ken. Gloria, morning, soon to be afternoon. Sandra, morning. Super G, morning. Sandra, have you used that rather iconic pen, LLT pen yet? I thought afterwards, Sandra, that when I presented it to you by the side of the road, it should have been maybe a blankety blank checkbook and pen, but it was just an LLT pen, just to mark our meeting, really. You've been to Pump and Zumba. Good to hear. I've been thinking about you, Sandra. I have indeed. And you might have extra special interest in this movement snack today. Who knows? Just putting it out there. Good noon, Gloria. Folks, I don't know if you've read any of the other posts on your group this week. All right, Patel, but this week, hello everyone. Thank you, Carolyn. This week is Falls Awareness Week. It's an international thing, and used to be really quite a big thing here in the UK. There's various events going on this whole week, and you may know and have heard us talk about this. It's a really big topic, an area that we LLT get ourselves involved in, and it is at the heart of most of the training courses that we deliver for health professionals. And here in the active calendar, you get a snippet of that vibe from us, because the very back page of this, it says this: a resource to help with getting up from the floor. Now, it's not a one size fits all. It's really there for information, and we frequently post up other resources. And of course, everyone's start point for learning or retraining or maintaining this critical skill is very, very, very different. So, hello, Ian, let me say, blankety blank. You had a blankety blank checkbook, no checkbook, blankety blank, just a pen. All right, Margaret. Nice to be back after my Harrogate jaunt. Were you on a jaunt? Yes, you were on a joint. Were you on the joint at the same time I was on my northern tour? Anyway, so the movements for today, the movements from today's movement snacks may well inform this skill. Now, there are many ways to get up from the floor, and we always need to kind of play to our strengths and movement capabilities. And perhaps it's a really good example of where moving more frequently, although of great value, and is the biggest message we fly here on this group, there is a point at which to really skill up a skill and to really improve and make optimum progress, there's that shift into more targeted, specific, structured exercise programs, which technically is not what we do here on Make Movement Your Mission. So all I want to say is the movements from today's movement snack are focusing on all the moving parts that will influence and contribute to this skill, is all I'm saying. There are many other kind of relations to daily tasks, focus on wrists, push, pull, grab, undoing jars, but also, of course, pushing body weight. And I'm in the doorway today because doorways are good. And if you have one of these calendars, September does indeed have us stood by a wall or a doorway as part of your external support. I think I've done doorway movement snacks before. They may be really, really supportive, literally. Right, for now though, I think we're there. Oh, Ian, I need to report. I've got a battery for the watch. Hurrah. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, Bex Towney from Later Life Training. Sorry folks, got carried away with Falls Awareness Week there. Hello Christine, thank you for your messages yesterday and best wishes to Lynn. All right, Red Rita, live again, Sue Tilly. Right, get yourself a tea towel. Now you might, I'm not saying stand in a doorway now because your device is set up, but perhaps the next time you pass through a doorway, there might be something that you want to crowbar in. Maybe is all I'm saying. So let's get going with the circ boost. Remember, not all of these movements will be for all of you. Have a good look and select which ones you fancy. Here we go. Starting with a circulation boost, I've got loads of support here. I've got my door frame here and I've got my chair here also. So I'll take the standing prompts first and then I'll switch down to seated prompts. Carry on without me if you know what's coming, or wait for the information if you think that's what you need. Whatever you are in sit or stand, lift and lengthen out your centerpiece. Increase this gap. More activity around the supporting parts will greatly support, literally, and help your moving parts. You may have the outside of your arm here on a wall, or hand on a piece of furniture, or doorway in front of you, or to the sides of you. Wherever you are, get going on a steady circ boost march and use these external supports. Certainly here in the circ boost, because the primary aim is to get the ankles, feet and toes going, activate the postures through the centre here, and get that little bit of deeper breathing going. So use these supports. This circ boost shouldn't be challenging your balance. Take up some support, kind of retrain and learn all these ankle, feet and toe movements here. You may be in this position. Bringing in other moving parts as and when you're ready. Just be aware of the threshold, of course, here in your doorway. So make sure that's comfortable for you. I'm slightly forward there. If you're on the wall, you might want to switch between a little bit of left and a bit of right, like so. That's your standing prompts. Keep going. I'm going to come through the doorway for the seated prompts. I hope I'm not too far away. Have an active sit, like so. Bring in your upper limb movements there. This bend at the elbow is significant. Steady, rhythmical, comfortable. Your pace, not mine. If you're on your feet at some point, have a hip walk forward and then involve those. So if you're in a sit position, but are on your legs in the day, you can scale them up and still involve them in this seated circ boost. And then build, build, build. It might be arms and legs, it might be arms only, it might be this rowing activity here. Heels lift, maybe toes lift. Can you see the variation of those circ boosts? Arms, legs and trunk, all involved. Pick the right combination for you. Okay, take a pause. Feel steady in stand, or feel active in sit, or you may want to take a little bit of a decompress and deactivate, shall we say. Let's move on to the first movement. Remind myself. Okay, because we're going to progress to some standing and bending activities for our standing options, I just want to prepare the ankles, feet and toes a bit more plus I'll give you a seated alternative. Here's your standing option. It's the rocker step. Doorways are great for this because you can stand with your hands slightly in front. You can take a slight forward position and you can take that rocker step forwards and back here. So you can use this support. Do be aware that it stays in front of you. If I turn sideways here so you can see what's going on, it's there, forward and back. Toe comes up in the front end, heel comes back behind. So you can literally work in the doorway here, there and there. And it offers support front and back should you need. So maybe a few rocker steps through your day. Also maybe rehearse and practice your 180-degree turning like so, and then go again. Do be aware, have a glance down at what's happening with your thresholds here. So do make sure the foot is flat and that you're not on an uneven surface. So there's rocker step, preparing ankles, feet and toes. Seated option, folks, could still be feet, ankles, feet and toes. So you can rehearse that in seated there. There's the toe off and the step back. There's the heel placement, the toe off and the step back, and the hips and the hip hinge all involved. So you can still rehearse legs, ankles, feet and toes and its relationship with the trunk. We're going to need that in a minute when we rehearse bending up, picking up objects. Right, lower limbs may well not be on your radar or in your day, so let's get some shoulders and shoulder blades going here. So we're going to take shoulder width on the tea towel. Elbows are soft there, and we're going to take turning round corners. So we're going to take a little bit of tension, keep that tension through the band. Take some turns this way, top to bottom. So it's almost you're driving around a corner, but not like that, you know what I'm saying. A little bit lower, or you can make those bigger, of course. So keep the trunk lifted, but you're moving the shoulders and the upper limbs. There's another direction you can go here. We can go this way round, front to back there. So either top to bottom there, or out and in there. So, and you'll feel different moving parts going on around the shoulder blades. And if you keep a little bit of tension through that tea towel, you've got your grip there. So you've got your kind of functional grip. Could be pincer grip if you would like. Any variation on there, but we're there. It's your holding objects type move, maintaining that same distance and then having the ability to shift and change and adjust in order to hold that object. Right, I'm going to take us to bending and picking up objects. We've done this many times before, but there's some additional benefits from really rehearsing our hippie shifty and our lower reaching bend, because it's all part and parcel of the movements within getting up and down from the floor. So let's do some bend and pick up standing options. Doorways can be really valuable for this, as can walls. So on your bestest side, on your strongest side, you can kind of literally nestle up to a fixed wall or surface. Outside leg's going to have a little bit of a bend, and you literally take the bend and the hip hinge, keeping this really light or close contact to the wall there. And this is all about giving you the confidence to reach either to shins and maybe get a fingertip to the floor. Can you see this arm moves with me there? There's your bend and stand. If I turn sideways so you can see what's going on with my feet, it may well be that your heels stay into the floor here. So I can walk down there and come back, or it might be that my back toe is off. And this is part and parcel of your sit to stand movements and the variations in life of where the feet are, how big the stride is. Doorways can really support confidence to rehearse these types of movements. Can you see? I can take a controlled step back, heel off or heel down, and then work my way down. And over time, as you build strength and stamina in the legs, as you build the strength and stamina in your postures here with your hip hinge, you will be able to more confidently get down to lower levels. There's your bend in stand. Chairs can also greatly support that skill rehearsal. So you could rehearse it here with the chair behind you, and you may decide to have a sit down if you need an extra rest. Practicing bending in sit, also of huge value, and it may be the position that you spend your days in working and living your daily life. So there is your hip hinge bend in seated. Can you see what's happening here in the trunk? Strong, straight, supported, and there is your forward reach. And the head and the chest stays lifted. So there's your bend. And over time, as you probably do if you're out in the garden, you can take this bend, you can work yourself down and up, perhaps to lower levels. Appreciative of the fact that that movement particularly won't be for everyone, but I know it's going to be for a lot of you. Okay, one for us all together. Coordination, upper limb, trunk, in sit or stand you choose. So if you're in sit position, active sit here, one hand, one hand. So you're in this position. I'm going to stand here so you can see what's going on. Let's start the long ends, switching through. So this is predominantly a coordination one. So explore both sides, but of course we're moving the shoulders and the elbows. So it's all for arms and wrists and hands. And can you complete that circle? Can you reverse that direction? Here's the next thing. If you'd like to add to that challenge, if you're in stand, you might want to take a steady march. So you might want to take that arm coordination movement with your standing march. This has potential to challenge your balance because you're thinking about a task whilst moving the legs. So that is another reason why we're close here to support. You might have your back to the support here to work your way around there. Don't forget also the diagonals. In sit, it's the same. So set off on your long ends, short ends and diagonals. Perhaps maybe you want to get some legs going on that as well and work your way through that coordinated movement with arms and legs moving, or it could be a march there. How does that feel for you? When we use the arms and the legs together in seated positions, you will have to work your posture muscles much, much harder. Have a switch off, have a pause. Remember the rests, the rest periods, the deactivates are as significant as the more effortful periods of the movement. Okay, still on the topic of getting up and down from floor, but also the broader benefits of strengthening grip and wrist. So to push yourself out of bed or over bed at night, to push yourself up from floor, we're going to need wrists to be strong and movable. Doorways are great for this. They can offer different angles, so perhaps not such an extreme angle that a wall will provide you. So it could be here, for example, so a little bit more comfortable on the hands there. So you can rehearse pushing your body weight with control there, elbows are tucked in, and I'm getting some load through the wrist, but in a different position. So I think you can see that here, depending on your type of door frame, of course. So there I've got a bit of push going on, and I'm feeling how to control my own body weight. Other ways to do that, of course, so we can prepare once you've got your tea towel, once you're out and about doing stuff in the day. Why not just crowbar in some squeeze and turns and pull aparts, keeping those hands stacked, squeeze and turn. Can you see that I'm bringing the wrists together? So firm wrists, strengthening the wrists, putting different forces and directions through the wrist there. You might want to add in some tea towel snaps as well, so you get those kind of reactive responses when you have to grab a little bit harder. Hands, grip strength, strong wrists. We really need to support pushing our own body weight up off the floor for any reason. Out in the garden, turning over in bed, getting out of the bath, being able to push our own body weight is really valuable. Right. Footprints in the sand is my last one, I think. Here we go. Any change of foot position across your day, our sit to stand movements, our split stance, sit to stand or jockey lifts require us to really be able to shift weight from one foot to the other. So if you're in stand, hip width to begin with, imagine you're stood on sand and you're pressing through the footprint you've made. So you've got a weight shift plus some. So you're almost taking a kind of an extra put, as if you're pushing down, shifting the weight, your body weight more through one leg than the other, but both feet stay in contact. So kind of here, and maybe imagine that you're going press, press, a little bit of squeeze, sideways on, you've kind of got that hip hinge as well. So pushing through the heels and the centre of your feet there, and you'll start to feel your buttocks join in with that one. You might then want to see how that feels in a wider stance. It's going to feel quite different, and something else will need to happen. You'll have much more movement now from the whole of the trunk to get your weight above that heel to squash it down, if you see what I mean. So this is all about weight shift and feeling how one leg compares to the other when you're shifting your weight. In sit, to a certain degree we can still do this in sit. So there's the movement. You're going to have more buttocks, extra thighs in on this, and the trunk will be part of that press down. So shift the weight from buttock to buttock in order to press through the heels. Can you feel? And it's almost as if you're going to push and start to stand, but you're not. But you're pressing down, and you'll feel that activity through the legs. And of course, over time, we would build that to our sit to stand push up. Okie dokie, folks. Last one then. So footprints in the sand in seated, but upper limb alternative only. I'm going to go for our standard lift, row and pull. There, could be here, push way, pull back, keep the elbows tucked in, tucked in, tucked in, tucked in, or alternatively you could go for pulling in the rope. There, push, reach and pull, reach and pull. So there is your upper limb trunk movement instead of footprints in the stand. All of that, folks, serves to give you around about 17 minutes, I think, of additional movement minutes into your day. Perhaps some things to crowbar in, perhaps some things even just to think about and mull over as you're passing through doorways. These external supports, walls, doorways can greatly help confidence in returning to skills that you may have started to kind of lose or avoid. So optimizing that external support can greatly shift our thoughts around practicing other things. So I know it's not all for you, but folks, have a look at this if you've got it in your calendar. Have a think. I can ask us some questions about that if you would like. All right, folks, bye for now. I'll see you tomorrow. Wednesday? Yep, still on at noon tomorrow. Bye for now, folks.